Oh, hell no. Now that's better. This is your president, Ms. Entertainment, and welcome to the Power Hour. We getting ready to kick this thing off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, y'all. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Ms. Entertainment. I am your president of the Real Ass People Society. So welcome to the Power Hour. We're live every Saturday at noon on Terradome Entertainment Radio, where we play the best hits from old school to new school, hip hop, R&B, and more. Let me turn my doggone thing off. There we go. So go to TerradomeENTRadio.com and click on the Listen Live button or tune in on TuneIn or Live 365. Now, if you don't catch us live, you can catch the replays on TerradomeENTRadio.com or on all the podcast major apps. But it's always best to catch us live because we have Ghetto Genie introducing the old school countdown. So if you want to hear some of the best old school music, join us live every Saturday at noon on Terradome Entertainment Radio at TerradomeENTRadio.com. But today, Ghetto Genie took a break. He on hiatus because we never get to him. So I think he's about ready to fire us to get to the music. But that's all right. He'll be back sometime. You can also follow the conversation on IG at PowerHour_Raps_Crew. And of course, I'm not in the place alone. Let me introduce my Chief Entertainment Officer, DJ Talented.
What's going on, people? What's going on? You know my saying, it's better to be above it than under it. You dig?
All right. And in the studio, the favorite librarian and podcast host, Miss Forrest. That goddamn drink.
Hey,
that's why I don't drink before I started. That man right there
That's
gave
a
me
good
something
one,
to drink. Forrest Evans. There we go.
Hey, everyone.
And also in the studio, actress, Miss Deshele Taylor. You know what?
Hey, what's up, people?
And also we got back music producer, the real JNauti.
Let's go. Hey, you know what we're doing? XXL all day.
All right.
Shameless plug. Yeah, I don't even know.
Hey, closed mouth don't get fed.
There you go. So how was your week, everyone? What y'all got going on?
It was great.
Colorful.
Color. Oh, I like that word.
It's Pride Month, so I'm out here living my best life.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Pretty eventful. Just dropped another one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just dropped another one. So yeah, I've been busy, trying to make the rounds and everything.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Now wait a minute. Another one. This is one of what? This is what? What's the name of this one?
No, XXL.
XXL.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So no number on that one.
Not this one. No.
Okay.
A little bit different. But yeah, it's a good vibe. You should check it out. It's made for the summer.
Okay, so we're gonna have to bring you back so we can do another listening session.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And again, this is Pride Month. So, and of course, we support and encourage everyone to live their life however you want to live it. Out loud, quiet, just be you. And Ms. Forrest, you are part of the board of directors for Atlanta Pride Committee.
I am, yes.
So tell us a little bit more of that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm one of the newest members as a Black lesbian woman. You know, Atlanta is a second home for me. I'm a low country native. Shout out to Southeast Georgia. And, just not only do people meet me at my intersection, but visibility and just being the adult that I needed. And so it's a full circle moment to just be amongst my peers, do the collective work, but also to show what Black excellence looks like, a part of the Black experience as a lesbian queer woman.
So you're from a small town?
Well, I'm a military brat, but I do consider Waycross, Georgia, my home. That's where I spent the bulk of my life after my parents retired military. My dad was in the Army. Shout out to Fort Stewart. And I love Georgia. Although it has some negative connotation to some of the heritage that we have here, a lot of the trauma energy that people engage when they think about Georgia. I love the culture here. And not only because I'm also part of a Greek organization, I love to see us in different capacities because excellent doesn't also necessarily mean college educated. That's just true. Means based upon what you see for yourself as you elevate to your highest self and provide that support to someone else.
Now, being that you come from your military brat, you come
Mhm.
from a military background,
Okay.
was it challenging to come out to your parents?
My mom, luckily, I am very blessed to have a mother that is a licensed mental health professional. My dad is actually the most liberal. And my mom, to whom is still navigating her own experience to understand and meet me where I am very supported by my chosen family and also the community that I've developed through college, through my faith practice. I am very connected not only to my Christianity, but also showing what it looks like when God is present in any place.
Okay. So that, I guess that went okay.
Yes, well, let me say this, coming out, luckily I had other family members
Okay.
that would show different identities. I'm a lesbian woman, but bisexuality looks different in cisgendered men and also with women. It's more accepted with women than it is in men. And luckily I had a bisexual man in my family that had and started the conversation. So when I disclosed who I was, there was already the conversation had, and I was simply contributing to it, adding a different perspective of what queer life looks like as a gay woman. And so I love that I added to the conversation, and also with my platform, Favorite Librarian, I continuously provide non-biased, queer, and Black-centered literature. So that way it's a neutral learning environment, and wherever you are, you can elevate your thinking by the resources you have, because queer history is also Black history and excellence. And so there is no line of divide. When you look at colorism, it also divides not only the Black community, but when you look at homophobia, it also is an
Mhm.
element to divide. And so I think that to combat that is unifying and visibility and participating. And I learned that through a lot of my queer elders in my family. And so that's why I love being a part of the board of directors.
Okay. Do you find any discrimination in the corporate environment? I say that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really? Because I was saying,
Oh,
someone
gonna
asked
listen to
me
this.
the question, do I find it as a Black woman? That's like, I don't know. Because you never know where it's coming from. Is it because I'm Black? Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm smart? Is it because I'm educated?
It's all
Yeah,
of
never
that.
know
It's all of
which
that.
one they're picking that day.
Mhm.
So in the corporate environment and also in my own Black community, I am oftentimes overlooked or snubbed because people
Really?
won't meet me where I am as a queer woman. They only see me as Black until I disclose that.
Mm.
And then there's certain limitations of how they will engage me because of their belief or how they see I support other people, either trans, gender nonconforming, and also including the conversation of what that looks like for youth. There are a lot of progressing bills right now that not only take healthcare, but educational resources, censoring not only educators, but librarians like myself. And not only state of Georgia, but there are certain southern states like Texas where if you're a licensed librarian providing certain literature, you can possibly be arrested because it's not a part of your board of education policies because they're trying to censor some of that rhetoric, whether it be for trans youth, whether it be for gay boys or boyhood, gay boyhood. Boyhood, BOIHOOD, also includes masculine presenting women because they may not identify as a cisgender woman. They may identify as a masculine presenting, not including themselves entirely as a man because that is a whole other category they may not identify with. So just adding not only those nuances, but that language so people know how to address them properly or anyone that you meet.
Okay. Is there a one thing that you wish others would understand about you?
Mm. I'm not as innocent as I look. I am 31. I know Black don't crack. But let me just say this. That's the curse and the blessing of being a Black woman is that I have an element of innocence. We never look our age, our true age. And so
True.
many people, they meet you with their own projections of how they identify Blackness, womanhood, femininity, but also how you present yourself. And so I would love for more people to take me seriously in how I present myself and give me the openness to express myself beyond what you've seen as other lesbian women like Wanda Sykes and Queen Latifah and a few other
Well, she
people.
ain't out
Yeah,
technically.
she ain't. That's what I'm saying. Well, she has a wife and they have a child.
Understood.
So.
But she ain't technically out.
Correct. My bad. My bad. And a few other queer folk, but yes.
I think that it's back to the point you made earlier. I think that it's dangerous, for us to allow them to start chipping away at certain rights because
Mhm.
who knows where they're going to stop.
Mhm.
Exactly.
There are no guardrails. That's just where they start. They say, hey, is it okay if I move an inch? Is it okay if I move one more inch? Let's go ahead and move a whole foot. So you don't know where it's going to stop, right? So I think everyone's rights needs to be protected.
Agreed. In which, and I would never understand why some women, I'm saying more white women, that was still against the rights thing, for their bodies. And it's like that's just they're just testing to see if they can get away with it, which they did. So who's next?
Well, and I think that just helps to underscore how important it is. People oftentimes only think of the presidential election, but the reality is your power as a voter is actually at the local level. So you need to be thinking about who your councilman is, who your senator is, all of those things, who your chief, the police chief is going to be. Like all of that stuff matters.
It matters.
And it's important. And if we're not actively participating in our democracy, then we are left with decisions like the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
Right.
Yeah, I even saw a video a while back. I think it was the police chief up in St. Paul. It was somewhere up in Minnesota, and he was on the news, and he was like, "Hey, look, we got these guys. We're gonna go ahead, arrest them. I wish we would have killed them, and then after that, we should have put them in the ground and go ahead and just just put the bodies in the ground somewhere, and then let's after that, let's go ahead and take that land wherever we put them." Build an Amazon facility over top of it and sell it back to Jeff Bezos. See, I just made you a business plan. Let's just do that. And he said this live on the news.
What? Who was those guys? I can only imagine.
Right. Right. But yeah, if you let certain people take an inch, they'll take a foot.
Yes.
They'll just keep going. It's okay. They don't need that. Let's not talk about that. Let's go ahead and just say, when all these folks came over on the boat, if they came over because we gave them free room and board because they wanted to do some chores.
Well, it wasn't it was a choice, right?
Well, apparently for them it is. Hey, we chose to come over. We wanted to do some chores. We wanted to learn about Christianity. We didn't even want.
I'm being funny.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to Kanye.
Where is he? I haven't seen him.
He's still out there. Like a Cookie Monster. Waiting.
So one last question. How can allies best support the gay community and the gay movement?
Similar to how we had demands during the civil rights era, it's all about visibility and providing an openness. Sometimes if you don't have anything to say, or if you know little, just simply being present in that moment, it humanizes people in places where they feel overlooked or snubbed at their experience, or where they feel invisible within their own family. And so that's why chosen family and allyship is so important, because you not only uplift and amplify, but you circulate other information to people that may need that access to just improve their understanding.
All right. Love it.
Thank you.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into hot topics, because y'all know we got to talk about it. All right. Finally, the white woman that fatally shot AJ Owens, the mother of 4, for knocking on that woman's door just to retrieve her iPad that she stole and assaulted her children, is behind bars. Her bond is set at $154,000 for what I saw. And the one thing I didn't understand, she lived in an apartment, or they lived in an apartment. She thought she owned the land that was beside there.
What?
Yeah, that was her reasoning, because they've been going back and forth or whatever, because the kids were playing on some land that was just for anybody to play with or do whatever you want to. But she felt that she was entitled, that was her land, and she, I guess, went out there and called them the N-word, of course, and doing her usual, and then she threw a skate and hit one of the kids. So the kids went over there to try and then I guess they left their iPad. She took it and went home. So mom came, and they told her they went and got their mama, which they should have.
Right.
So mom's like, okay, bitch. I don't know, that's what she said, but I'm just thinking of myself.
I would've went off too.
I'm just thinking to myself, oh, we finna handle this shit. But old girl took it upon herself to shoot her through the door, locked door. and
Wow.
killed her. And this is, again, mother of 4. So we need...
She wanted to do stand your ground.
Right.
This was Florida.
Count. Of
Oh,
course.
Florida.
This was Florida.
Florida's an interesting place.
Is it real though?
I don't know.
It's attached to something that's very close to us.
Yeah, Florida's a real interesting place. I read about that. So that's...
What are y'all thoughts on it? Because I thought that was some bullshit, of course.
It is.
It took 4 days for her to be arrested.
They did it this quickly. I mean, she fits all the criteria to not be arrested.
Not really, because she was not in danger. If a girl would have came through the door, then she'd have been in danger. But the door was still locked. It was, again, closed.
Right.
She's knocking on the door, banging, whatever. She talking shit, but she's still on the other side of that damn door.
Yeah. No, I'm being funny. No, she fits all the requirements. When I say that, she's white, woman, older, in a house. So the way they look at her, oh, okay, you're one of the people who pay us a lot of taxes. Okay, great. So
she did say how she felt threatened.
Do we really want to take her off the board?
Yes.
They're like, well, are we going to get her house? Probably. Okay, you know what?
But she was in an apartment.
The white lady?
Yes.
The white lady was in the apartment?
That's what they said. She lived in an apartment. Matter of fact,
why they arrested her.
The apartment is evicting her.
That's why they arrested her. She don't have enough money.
So
yeah, because she's saying that she ain't got no money. She take care of her sister and all this other stuff.
Look, we got two justice systems here, or 3, but really 2, right? Those who have money, those who do not. And that's really what it comes down to. And she didn't have the money, and she's white, and she's crazy. They're like, yeah, go ahead and lock her up.
Finally. What you gonna say, Deshele?
No, I was just gonna say that, like, we need to talk about what this word threatened means, right? Because simply by gesture, I'm looking at you, you're a fairly built young man, you walk into the presence of a white female who doesn't know you, hasn't interacted with you. She has a natural instinct, right? So there's this large amount of perception that people have about interacting with people of color, and they make that assumption. It's not to say that as a Black female, I don't also make assumptions about people, but I also know when it's present, and I can see it often because I'm sensitized to it, right? Whereas others may not be aware that they're even reacting that way. So for her to even assume that she was being threatened when you're on the other side of your door for your protection, you simply didn't even think that it was possible that there was another alternative. All you thought was there's an aggression and I need to cut down the threat.
I don't think that's what this was. I think that's how it's being portrayed. Okay. I think this was one of those situations that we've seen where she wanted to fight. She wanted to shoot someone. She went to the door with her gun. The intention, and not only did she have the gun, she already loaded the gun.
Right. She went to the door with the intention to kill.
She wanted to kill. Yes. So this is not I was threatened. This is okay, great. I got someone I can shoot.
Well, my point was that that we've allowed, like you were saying, that line when people talk about what can they take, we've allowed that become this big umbrella that leaves everything open. So even if you skirt at me wrong, or if I, flick you off when I'm driving, I'm a threat to you. So I have a right to protect myself, and I'm going to do it in the most lethal way possible that I can get away with.
So that brings a different conversation into play. I think we all need to start carrying AKs. And body armor.
Do we have a disclaimer?
Maybe a 40 or 38.
I'm with you on that.
That's where it's going. If we already starting at 10, cool it off. Cool everybody off. If everybody knows everybody has a gun, everybody's cool now. Because think about this though. Think about this. The shootings and mass shootings. I know we're on a totally different subject, but mass shootings and stuff that we've seen, at least in this country,
just this week alone,
they don't approach police stations with these guns to go shoot up. They don't approach gun squads and folks that are out there malicious. They're not approaching people with weapons.
Right.
They're approaching people that they know don't have weapons. Now, if they knew everyone had a weapon, we have to rethink this, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's an easy answer to it. There's a whole lot of history in Florida. Florida is whatever, but that history is also in Georgia and the rest of the South.
Absolutely.
So she wanted to kill someone that day. And that's the person that she killed. Yeah, it was intentional. This wasn't self-defense. She wasn't scared. She initiated the entire thing.
She did.
And she was waiting for them to come to the door. As soon as they come to the door, I'm gonna shoot whoever comes to the door.
Premeditated.
That was it. So it's
It-
premeditated.
I think we got to watch this case very closely, because the reason why I say that, now they say she ain't gonna get off. Okay.
That's what they
Well,
say.
yeah, that's what they say.
I
But if
hope
she
not.
It's
does,
Florida.
this laying the groundwork for it. Because we
Take an inch.
because the one thing I admire about your generation is y'all ain't taking this bullshit.
Yes.
You're checking them Karens, but now Karen gonna start carrying.
Mhm.
You know,
They
and
got
then what?
I think Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. There's no laws to conceal carry.
Hmm.
So it's already, the groundwork is already being laid for, hey, if you feel threatened, it's okay, because we'll figure out something, right? Go ahead and shoot first, and
We'll ask the
But
questions later.
Right.
this case here to me would definitely
It sets precedent for new
yes,
legislation to be okay.
Florida's not going to change anything.
this is true.
In fact, they might say, well,
No,
maybe
but they might find ways to broaden what's
exactly.
acceptable.
Yeah, what they're gonna probably do is what they've recently done, which is in Texas, we're gonna say, hey, you know what? Everyone can carry weapons concealed or whatever. You can just do that. Doesn't even matter.
No background
No
check.
background check, no nothing, no safety, no mental check. There's no red flag laws. She didn't need to have a gun. Like, I bet you if they look into her history, they'll probably see some pattern, right? Something where probably cops have been called on her a couple of times. She's
According
probably
to-
had altercations with the neighbors
She
a couple of
has.
times. This
According
didn't just
to-
happen out of nowhere.
According to the news report that I watched, she had made several false reports on those kids
Yep.
of
That
based
should
in
be a
lying.
misdemeanor charge right there.
Of
Right.
lying or whatever they've been doing.
She's been wanting that conflict. She doesn't like these people next to her.
Correct. She has a history of that.
I mean, she's in Florida. Just go out into the water. There's a lot of alligators, right? They'll handle that for you. You don't got to even ask any questions.
Ooh, I even saw something like that. They had it on. Somebody was filming this old lady walking her dog. Elliot came and got him.
Got him.
Got him.
If you don't want to be here, leave.
No, but they think that this is their country and it's for us to leave.
Hey, okay, go ahead. You was gonna say something.
Look, no, hold on. I got something to say. Look,
Come on.
if they brung us over here, nigga, take us back.
That's a lot of us.
Hey, take us back. If y'all don't want us here, take us back.
You know they building those ships, but it ain't for us to go back. It's for some completely
I
different.
know.
Okay.
They don't want
Different
they don't
cargo.
want us to go back because we the backbone of this country.
I want the cash equivalency of my 40 acres and a mule in today's money.
And they say,
Not
How much
gonna
is that? How
Not
much is
gonna
that?
happen.
Not gonna happen.
You can pay me in Bitcoin.
We're still looking for reparations. Hold on.
I do
They
think
gonna
there's
pay you
something
in
to what
blood,
you
that's
said
all.
earlier, though.
Oh,
If we are moving to a place where everybody can carry, I do think it's important, and more people should consider and explore how to properly use a weapon
Oh,
and
yeah.
be trained by a professional. I've taken courses, and you find the right person to help you just understand what it is, because it for most people, it's abstract because they haven't been around it. They haven't experienced it, or they've only experienced it as a result of violence directly to their
Mhm.
family or someone else that they care about.
Mhm.
But when you actually have to put that thing in your hand and understand the power of what you hold,
Mhm.
you need to be prepared, but you also need to have the right understanding of what it is that you're dealing with, because it's not a toy.
No.
One other thing that I gotta say is start your children off young. People think
Yes.
that it's wrong to teach your children in their young age how to use a gun. But that's the best thing you can do, because if your child has to use a weapon, they need to know how to hit their target. If they're not being taught the correct way, their target is whatever that gun shoots at.
I support that 100%. I started training with my dad at 13, not only with like 30-pound bows, but also we started small handguns, 90 mags, 38s, 40s,
Mhm.
just so I can get, comfortable with the weight, but also hand-to-hand combat. Not only is self-defense knowing how to use and educating yourself on a weapon, but using your hands. You gotta have
Yep.
hands and feet. Not everybody grew up fighting, but you should understand yourself and the strengths that you provide.
And that also gives you, they talk about most of us are not sort of conscious of what's going on around us. But once you start getting into this world and having to think about your own self-defense, it makes you more aware of everything else that's going on around. I don't have to swivel my head to know what's going on behind me and around me because I've been awakened to the idea that there could be threats of any kind. And now raising a young Black boy, I'm even more conscious, right? Of like, okay, this person's moving too close to the playground, or why did this car circle 2 or 3 times? Like that stuff doesn't become aware to you until you start sort of participating in the process of understanding what it means to have self-defense and properly use the tools that you have, whether it's your body or a weapon.
But I think as Black people, we are born into that
Oh, we've
Double
totally had
consciousness.
fight.
Being
that
Yes.
conscious of
Yeah.
fight or flight, or
Yeah.
being aware there's always some danger around the corner. We always got our head on the swivel.
Yeah,
It
we're
seems-
used to stress, and I think that
yeah.
some of the others are not used to stress or what they perceive as stress, and they have no coping skills. And the only thing that they can go to is, "I'm going to hurt you," and it's like, I'm not even paying you any attention,
Mhm.
and you want to hurt me?
Mhm.
Those kids weren't paying her any attention.
Right.
Like that's not what they were there playing. Like that.
Yeah. And
They
how
don't-
sad is it that we're just ripping society of those like just simple kids should just be allowed to be kids.
Right.
And
But
those
she didn't see
kids
them as kids.
forever gonna be messed up.
Oh, they're traumatized.
Because, the one kid that went and got the mother, and then the one kid that told her to go get the mother, and then the kid that watched his mother die.
Right.
Because she died right there.
Right.
They are forever traumatized by this woman. One single act.
Mm.
Question for you all as Black men, because y'all not little, do you feel that people perceive you as a threat when you walk into just a regular old room? Do you feel
I know I do. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's not my job to make you more confident.
Come on now.
If you don't have confidence, that has nothing to do with me, and I'm usually not paying you any attention anyway. And if you want me to pay you attention, it doesn't take much, right? So, but I'm not here for you, unless I am. But I'm mostly not here for you, right? So, yeah, that part doesn't matter to me. I noticed it. Like when I was much younger, I was smaller. I was like 165. I was skinny with a big old head. Yeah, it was the total opposite. They're like, oh, look at this little shrimp. So now when I walk in, it's like, oh, okay. I feel secure next to you. Why, thank you.
Now, as ladies, when you walk in a room, do you feel anything? Especially if you're in a room because in the corporate environment, we know that most of the time that we are the true minorities in that room. Do you feel anything when you're walking in there, just whether it's who is this, or even as like are being ignored?
Want to go first? For me, especially with white folks, I notice that they won't make eye contact with me during certain conversations. They're very easily to look down when they're talking to me, addressing me, saying my name. Things that just elemental things that humanize you. With women, it's very short, superficial. There's a lack of sisterhood. But that's why I seek that with a lot of other women of color and my Black women that I'm able to network and find.
Mhm. Yeah, I think macro and microaggressions in the office place are very, very real.
Mhm.
And in many cases, I think most people they're not aware because they've been raised a certain way. They've had a certain life experience and no one's ever said to them, hey, that's not right, or this is not something you do. Now, there are others who are much more blatant with it, whether that's a comment about your hair, your body, your ability, your intelligence. And I think I agree that it's not my responsibility to make you smarter, right? It's not my responsibility to show up in a room and try to say that I represent Black culture, Black people. That's not, I have my own walk.
Mhm.
I have my own ability and skill. So when I do walk into a room, particularly when it's and it's been in the past, it's been more male dominated. So in my career, when I started, everything that was being run in terms of philanthropy and CSR, it was older white men. I mean, 20, 30 years my age.
Mm.
And I'm walking into the space as a young 30-year-old, highly intelligent, master's educated. It's like, oh, who is this little girl coming in here trying to tell me what to do? And that some of that has continued. But the reality is you can even get that from other people of color
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in a
yeah.
space. Okay. So it's not like we can't sort of be like, oh, well, it's everybody else doing it to us. It works both ways. And so I agree with you. I think the eye contact, the ability to call my name and say it properly, being willing to acknowledge my contribution to any work that has been done, all of those things are relevant for who I am when I show up in a corporate environment. And I expect that to be acknowledged. And I expect there to be a level of respect in terms of what I've shown you, not what you assume, but what I've shown you. And then if you have questions, ask me questions. I'm always open for a conversation. If you're coming to me genuinely trying to understand, but please note when I walk in the room with my red jacket on and my lips are popping and hairs, all of that, I am not here to educate you. I'm here to do my job. And I've been invited to the table for a reason, right? So there should be I shouldn't have to demand a respect. It should just be there because we're both human trying to accomplish something together because we were both invited to be at the table.
I find it disheartening when it is the people that look like me that does the most shitting on you or dismissive or you, and then especially being a female, because it's something crazy when somebody that's not somebody of a different color can say something. You say something, then somebody of a different color say the same goddamn thing, and then they go with that, and it's like, wait a minute, is this mic on? I know I'm here.
Right.
Invisible.
Right.
And it's very disheartening when it's our own people that does the same thing.
And it's that some of that is that crab barrel mentality, right? Like I've already accomplished something, and I don't have room for you to be in this space, and that's kind of crazy to me.
That's tokenism too.
Yes.
I was talking to a friend of mine at her last job. They had a quota of 3 black people. They never got no more than 3 black people.
Out of how many people?
Out of 100, but it only got 3. That was the max that they can deal with is 3 black. They rotated them out.
Wow.
That's insane. But I'm not surprised.
No.
And that should be more disheartening for people. That we're not surprised.
Yeah.
That actually happens, and it's very, very real in corporate culture.
Yes.
I think, as far as a solution for it, I think that it's fine to work at their companies and whatnot. But we eventually need to have our own, right?
Agreed.
We need to develop more of our own businesses. Sure. And, then we can create that culture that we really want.
Absolutely.
Keep the money in-house.
Agreed.
As much as possible. Keep the talent in-house.
Well, that just goes back to generationally being able to talk about money, right? And understand what money really is and what it's supposed to do for you, not become a slave to money. And that's the difference between understanding how to use money to build wealth or just spend money to live a lifestyle that you feel like you have to be competing with other people. I don't know who the Joneses are. I ain't never met them. I don't know what size they are. I don't know what size their house is, but everybody's chasing that, right? Or they're chasing this American dream. And when you come out of an environment where money wasn't talked about because it was a struggle for my parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents. It was a struggle to get to where we are, but they did all they did so that I could break through that barrier, which is I understand how to invest. I understand how to use a checking account. I don't have to do the susu. I can. There's nothing wrong with the susu, but I don't have to do that because I'm properly managing how I handle my money and my lifestyle together.
Okay. Question. As we talking about money, y'all know that China has this thing where you can pay using the palm of your hand. And I heard it's actually in LA too.
A little chip thingy.
Something where you wave your hand over this little pad, and you can use your hand to pay for your food. I mean, pay for whatever. Okay. What are y'all thoughts on that? Are we going too far?
That's all. The thing with that is to keep tabs on you closer than what.
But they got that in with your phone.
It's closer than what your phone is, because they got your every move. They can track everything with something like that. Everything you do. Going to the bathroom, they know what stall you in.
Those are important things to know. I need some toilet paper in here. It's low. They're like, oh yeah, we can tell. Great. Hurry up.
I thought that was kind of but people, of course, is they always go back to what's that
The
Revelations
is this
and
the
all the
mark of
other
the
stuff.
beast?
Yeah.
Is that what it is now? Is that what
But
we're
it's
at?
already here, according to my investigation. It's in LA at a Whole Foods spot. Yeah. So I mean,
So are people voluntarily allowing the chip to be put in?
evidently,
Is it a chip that they're putting in the hand?
it has
it-
to
It has to be something
something.
to electronically read.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
So
I know what it is. Well, it reads your
It just reads. It
the
reads
pu-
your,
your
the actual palm.
fingerprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Similar to
unique.
the phone reading your face to open up your phone.
Right.
So
So,
Okay.
there's any difference.
yeah, so there's no chip.
So
there's
no chip. Okay, we got that clear. So
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I think
you don't
they
believe
could do
it's
it.
happening, or you don't believe?
I don't believe it's not something being implanted in you, or has already
Well,
been implanted in
okay.
you without you
So
knowing.
that's a whole
Hold on.
different. That's totally different.
Now, according to this, there's something where they read your fingerprints because your fingerprints
finger-
identifies you as a person.
Right.
Nobody else has
Unique.
They
to you.
can say it,
it.
but
But you ain't believing it.
I don't believe none of that. What was in that COVID shot that you was getting?
I don't know, but we all got it.
Yeah,
Shit.
Everybody
Sprite.
that got it may have
Sprite.
the stuff already in you.
Hey, look, here goes the truth, right? Your phone right here next to you can read the temperature in the room. It can read when you're near it.
Right.
It can listen to everything that you say.
It
hear
is
your
listening.
heartbeat. It can tell where you are at all times. If you're near the phone or not, it can keep track of every place you've been forever.
Right.
And it tells everybody about it. That's already happening.
Yeah,
You're not missing anything. And it knows when you're on the toilet.
I don't
So
think it's
I'm
far
going
fetched
back
that
to
we're
flip
already
phones.
at
And
that
it looks,
place
and
where
it looks at you.
we're
It
going to
looks
be
at you.
looking for what is the alternative to not carrying this,
Yeah.
right? And
No.
You think?
What is the alternative of not carrying it?
And put
We're
like
so
a
dependent on
it.
contact. Do like a
Put it in your
contact.
eye.
Yeah, do like a.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Oh,
there's
black-
going to
I'm
be
Like
black-
black
some
hair?
RoboCop.
I believe there will be a thing. I
see-
am completely convinced that whatever they've already put in the movies is already in development. We just haven't gotten it yet.
This
This is
probably
from Star
already
Trek.
developed.
This,
This is from Star Trek.
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it's already developed. We just don't
we
know
just
it.
don't have it. So the
Yeah.
fact that they're using that unique identifier as a way to follow your activity and allow you to participate in commerce, I'm not surprised.
Nah, not at all.
I'm
Not
not
at all.
surprised at all.
Haven't gone far enough. I need them to know every time I just go, oh, that was you. Yep.
Listen, you're gonna think something and it's gonna show up at your door.
There we go. Or you just look at it. It just, you know what? I'm looking at that real hard. Do you want one of those? And they just bring it to you. We're gonna get there.
Because as soon as you say something, you see the advertisement on your phone.
I mean,
Of
I
course.
had a conversation with a buddy of mine. He was in California at the time, and we were talking about a strip club that he went to in Vegas. Never been there, never knew the name of it. He was like, oh, it's called the Blue something. And I was like, what is it? So I'm looking it up on the phone real time, and I typed in B. And it auto-filled the rest of it. And I was like, how the hell?
Because it's listening.
I'm on the phone with you about. Are you looking for this? Yeah, I guess so. Damn. And that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So imagine what it's doing now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, along with Pride Month, this is also Black Music Month. So, have you all seen Janelle Monáe's Lipstick on My Neck video? I swear to God, it is the top 5 sexiest videos. This right up there next to D'Angelo's is what? How do you feel?
Really?
Oh,
You liked it?
I watched it a couple of times. So,
I'll admittedly say I haven't seen all of it. I've seen clips of it.
Yeah, me too.
but it has a disclaimer on there. Are we going too far for the video? Because she put it right out there in your face. This is what's going on.
Why is it too far when you see that type of stuff on TV already?
I get it.
We've
I'm just
seen-
asking
so
a
what-
question.
So what's
We've
the
all
difference
seen
between her
soft porn.
doing it and some
Yeah.
TV show doing it?
Well, then again, why did she need a disclaimer then?
Because it was on the platform.
Yeah, for the little
Right.
kids,
It's-
so they don't,
it's-
They could do them. They could see all that shit on TV, regular TV.
exactly. She's just covering her legal basis.
She's trying to protect.
Oh, okay. Is
money.
that what that is? Oh, okay.
Don't be mad at me. I got a disclaimer. Why you letting your kids watch it? It's not my fault. So hey, that's what that is. That's the world we
That's
live
the
in.
business of it.
See, I like D'Angelo's his video more because it was more in the taste of art. Like,
It left something to the imagination.
yes, with Janelle Monáe's video, it's very suggestive. There's nothing
in
that
your
I
face.
can. Yeah, I
This
like
is what I
that.
want.
It's very different from her. What was that Dirty Computer album that she did, which was brilliant. I love the Afrofuturistic element, but she's very hypersexual right now, and
She
I
is.
don't know how to digest that. I don't know.
She running around with no shirt on.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Kion is
Panties
right. The
too.
reality is it's already out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so part of it is possibly that it is who it is that's doing it. Her how she identifies
Mhm.
has something to do with it. And then, this sort of notion that we're always up against, as I think Black women, this sort of notion of like, do we own our bodies or not? And how do we show up in our bodies? How do we present our bodies? And so there may be a bit of that in addition to this hypersexuality energy that she's giving off.
I feel like if women are leading with the sexual element, not that they have to tell a story, but I feel like they should provide a range. Kind of like Lizzo. I like Lizzo, but I feel like
Love Lizzo.
she needs more of a range. If all I'm seeing is your body, I need to see it in different angles, elements, different tastes of garments, different scenes. Like, let me not age myself, but when I look at Donna Summers and when I look at Diana Ross, they changed it up aesthetically, music and sound. They weren't just a one-trick pony with what the gimmicks that they could notarize or gain more attention with. So when I look at hypersexual women, when they use their bodies, I don't want to police them, but I'm also looking for something else outside of just being sexual or being.
I love Lizzo, but I'm kind of tired of looking at her ass.
Yes.
So I'm not a Lizzo fan, but
That's a lie.
her concert is up on
That's
one
a
of the
lie.
platforms, and I looked at it and I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of like just because I was just curious. I know she's like, so on the one hand, I was super impressed with the fact that as a big and tall woman, she was like allowing her sexuality to be full without
Love
it.
that.
And I was like,
But
okay,
that's everything gets her ass out.
Oh,
Yes.
I agree. So like you were saying, some of the outfits, I thought she did a decent job of like changing up the look, but she certainly had that like, the booty short thing. She likes playing around with it. It works for her.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people, my perception is that a lot of people truly appreciate her because she brings voice to those people who like feel hurt, feel invisible, feel underlooked. So as she goes through her career, it'll be interesting to see how she evolves, because at some point what she's doing may not be as warranted even for her own reflection of who she is publicly, right? So she's got the attention of this massive following right now, exactly for who she is, this empowerment in your body, express yourself. I'm a big girl. I can do all of this too and still feel sexual, and men want me, and I know they want me, but I'm also a woman who hurts. I'm also a woman who feels. I'm a woman that struggles with friendship and mental health, like all of those things that comes through her music. So it's the Janae Monell thing, I think, just is like that. It's sort of what's the word I want to say? It's like that. Let's push it all the way out. Let's just.
She did.
It is
all the way
way out. And I'm at the authorship of this message, and I want it to be okay. And so if she didn't do it, somebody else was going to do it.
Well, they already did. That's the thing.
No, but we need
like Cardi.
Well, yeah.
Nah, she ain't go that far.
Yes, she did. The other,
Which one?
It was like her. I mean, well, yeah, but before that, remember she did the other video? It was like her and like 500 girls outside, and they were all naked, dancing and stuff. You don't remember that?
I'm
searching my mind. I'm like, hold on,
because I was like, whoa.
Drop the link then.
I had to go back. I didn't miss it.
So it's not like there isn't room for that. I think that also in music at her level, she's in competition, and the reality is she needs folks to talk about it, to stop, to look at it, shock and awe, because you wouldn't expect her to really do that. So her next project probably won't be anything like that. But folks will be like, hey, you know what? You remember that one time? Oh, okay.
Well, she's definitely made a stamp on history. That's for sure.
Yeah, folks are like, oh, they're talking about it. A lot of people who weren't going to talk about her are talking about her now. And that's really what that is, eyeballs. She needs people to look. And they probably tested it out too. That's just, in the technical parts of it. They tested it out and they're like, hey, people like to see a little bit more. And she's like, how much more? This much more? She's like, all right, what do we do more? Well, yeah, they want to see that too. Well, I'll give y'all a little more, but you have to buy something. That's where we are, you know.
I want to ask a question. Do you guys believe that she's more accepted now because of the generation, or because we had people like Monifa as well as
Yes.
Andrea Howard that were leading with their sexuality, but they weren't as
Kim,
accepted.
Right.
Foxy Brown,
Mhm.
they were.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a change. I think it is more of today's time.
Yep.
I mean, I'm in agreement with that. But you did have a few out there because look, Kim, she
Ooh.
ain't never had no clothes on.
There would
Still
have been a
don't.
completely different reaction if she had done this in the 80s.
Now did the same type like
Mm.
Janelle? No, that wouldn't have worked during
No, it
that.
wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked during that.
Well, they were competing on different things.
Yeah,
they were
they-
competing on music. I mean, you know what I mean? Like really just music. Like they weren't competing on, just look at my music video. They were really competing on shows. And there was only one way to get your music out. And it wasn't,
You
there
gotta
were
be
no
good.
streaming. Well, the radio. So there were no streaming platforms. So she's competing with 140,000 plus my project that just came out today. You feel me? So, right? So there's a whole lot more competition. The only things that's holding her back are the major platforms. So it's going to be Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple. Those are the gatekeepers for her, and she needs people to look at them, and she has the money to push it.
But the sexuality, it would not have been accepted. Like you said, Monifa didn't come out until what? I didn't know until the what's that R&B Diva.
Oh, I missed that show.
For it's coming out. A lot of folks, even look at the Brat.
Right.
She just recently, after being in the closet so long, and like we
Mhm,
said, Queen still ain't
mhm,
came out technically.
Come on, Queen, come on.
So to answer your question, no, I don't think they were being accepted. Not the sexuality, the body out there, yes, but the actual saying, "Hey,
But not as
I'm part of the
revealing.
community."
Right.
No.
I mean, I think when you think about Foxy Brown and all those ladies that came up at that time, they were looking to push the boundary, but they didn't go full Monty.
Yes.
Right. We have a completely different thing
But
now.
they didn't also say their sexuality either.
Right.
It was assumed that they were heterosexual.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So that was the
that's what they
huge
were selling.
difference.
That's what they were selling.
Yes.
Correct.
So audience, people are buying something different now. People
Yeah.
are more accepting. They have an appetite for that now.
Yes.
Openly. Open
right.
appetite for
The
that.
culture has the norms of our culture have shifted and changed and evolved.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so for Janelle Monáe to do what she did today, it's like, it's still shocking and awing because, again, I think there's a lot of things playing into that. And a lot of it has to do with women and their bodies. It has to do with Black women and owning their bodies and the authority over our bodies. But it's also just like, okay, how far are we going to move this
Keep going.
going?
Keep going.
It's just gonna be you're gonna have.
I mean, it's not as if pornocracy hasn't existed forever and
what's
ever
next.
and ever and ever and ever, right?
What is
It's
next?
just
She's gonna have an OnlyFans page.
Carter got one.
All right, that's it for our hot topics. Let's go ahead on and move into the real ass question of the day.
Where you going?
Soon.
She's supposed to be ready.
Coming soon.
I'm ready. There's too many damn screens on this thing.
Push the damn button.
All right, y'all. I'm keeping it light. So, real ass question of the day. What would you do if you can get $1 trillion to spend in 10 years, have the perfect health, you can go anywhere for 10 years straight. You ball it out of control. Now, after the 10 years to the day, you die. Now, the flip side is you live forever, going paycheck to paycheck, still be in perfect health, but you'll live to 100. Which one would you choose? Would you ball out for 10 years, and then die? Or would you, live, scraping, but still perfect health, but then you're going to live to 100?
Nobody wants to answer that.
No, okay. So I have said in passing, and I say it jokingly, but I'm very serious about it. I have said multiple times that I've had a conversation with God that I want to be here till I'm 110. And part of that is because I'm curious about what the world is going to look like over that time, but I'm also wanting to experience life with my children's children, right? I want to be here. I want to be healthy enough to see that and be in my right mind, right? I don't want to be 110 and disabled. And
Mhm.
like, of course your body is going to change because it just does. But I want to be in my right mind. I want to have physical ability, those things. I don't have to drive myself necessarily, but I want to be able to do those things. So when I think
But you're
about
gonna
your
be broke.
question,
I'm gonna say paycheck to paycheck.
when I think about your question, I sort of, at this point, if I'm taking the circumstances I have right now, I would want to live.
Okay.
I would sacrifice the money because I have a child and I want to see my child. I want to see the fruition of that blessing in my life.
But you guaranteed to set your child's child, and your rest of the down the line up, because that
But
money
so
is
that's
going to them.
it's like the question is posed on how valuable to me is the money, and should I live only 10 more years if I knew I only had 10 more years?
And you can bless the rest of your family forever. Or you live paycheck to paycheck, struggling, but you live forever.
Wait, not how much money exactly?
It was she said
Trillion.
$1 trillion.
Money is no option. You can do whatever the fuck you want to
So-
do.
Okay, yeah.
And you still have enough money to set your generations to come up.
So you can answer first.
I would take the money. I'm not gonna lie. So this is what I would do. I would break off every Black identifying person in the country, make sure they get reparations. And if I only have 10 years, I think that's enough to cause or evoke change and influence. And then I'm done. I mean, also I'm
Or
childless.
havoc.
Yes, or have it. So, I don't have any children at the moment, and I'm the oldest. So I would definitely try to shift the culture by providing a fulcrum for all Black people. So that way they could do whatever they'd like in addition to just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably take the money.
It's okay to take
So-
the
You
money.
$1 trillion.
Wait. Here goes the thing. So I'll take the money because I want to. Okay, let's start down the list. So I'm going to change the Supreme Court. I'm going to change pretty much all the governors. I'm going to change most of the laws. I'm going to create a whole lot of businesses for Black people that they're going to own that they can't even sell to them. That's going to be written into it. You can't even sell it to them. It's going to be owned by Black people. There's going to be our own version of Tesla. There's going to be our own version of CNN, like actual, right? We'll have our own everything, our own water, everything.
You're gonna
own
create your
towns.
own
Pretty much. I'm going to do what they do here.
utopia.
Not utopia. I'm going to create
Wakanda.
diversity for us. I'm going to create economic diversity for us here, right?
Mm.
And then, create our own police, our own all that, our own education, all of that, like all these things, and if I have enough money, yeah, I can do it. And I'm going to have stuff written in place where it'll be impossible to take it, from us. So that's what I want to do. And then, go back and to the Ivory Coast and help some other folks there too. With some infrastructure. But yeah, I would definitely have us looking like the Jetsons on the Black side.
Okay.
10 years, we could do that very quickly. You have the money? Oh, folks move. They don't care. You have money, they'll do it.
So you're trying to build Wakanda.
Yes.
And that's also
Yes.
making the assumption that even if you have the influence, right? If you're the Black person in the room with the most money, that they're actually going to allow you to do the things that you're talking about.
I don't need them to allow me to do anything.
You do.
Because I will just buy everything from them. I will buy. America is based on money. You can tell everybody what to do if you have money or if you have guns. Either one, you can tell them what to do. America is that place. You can literally, like, Bill Gates wanted to have a certain car brought here that was illegal in the States. He had them change the laws to make it legal so he could drive the car here.
I get that. I'm just saying
Like,
that I think the idealisticness of being able to have that kind of control over money is great and powerful, and I support everything that y'all want to do. And I would want to do the same thing too. I have massive, huge dreams. But the reality is they are going to change the game
that's
when
what
you get on the chessboard
of course, I want them
with
to.
that kind of money. And so the ability even to spend that way, infiltrate it into the market, them not try to take it from you. Now you're a target for people
Yeah.
to come after you. All of those things are going to happen.
That's great. I only have 10 years.
So it's like 10 years to make it.
Like,
I know I'm
no.
going to die in 10. So
Exactly. I'm going to go extra hard. I'm going to make sure I get rid of
Ball
all
out.
the folks that don't need to be here.
Mhm.
And we're going to buy up the
What
rest
you
of all
gonna do?
their
You gonna
stuff.
bury them?
well,
I'ma
take
buy-
care of it.
I'm gonna go to Texas. I'm gonna buy up all the oil fields. I'm gonna buy all their stuff. I'm gonna buy all the land that's everywhere that's just there that they've been using. Oh, I'm buying all the stuff. I'm gonna buy all the farms all throughout America. I'm gonna buy up all the banks. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a very different place, and there's gonna be a lot of us placed in charge. And it won't be a question of whether or not they let me in the room. I own the room
There you go.
And the land.
and the land. I own the air you breathe. I own the electricity that you guys have. I own the water you drink. I own everything that you wear, everything that you eat. I own everything that you think. We have our own phone. I own all that. Like, what are you going to do? I have all the money. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Please, this is a Monopoly. I'm going to play Monopoly with them. I'm going to own the whole board and then peace out.
Okay.
Yeah. You gonna? Nope. All right.
Teresa, what's your answer?
I was gonna get DJ.
Okay, DJ, what's your answer?
I would like to stay here for 100 years, but I would like to help our people as well. So being a trillionaire, yeah, there'll be a lot of things that we could do to change the stereotype or to change the way things are now. I could buy the East Coast, you could buy the West Coast.
There we go.
Take over.
There we go.
So you're not gonna go back to Africa and invest in Africa?
We're gonna do that too, but we're gonna take over the main thing and monopolize it, and then go over there and help our people over there.
Because here's the thing: if we create the laws, if we own all the infrastructure, if we own the land, if we own the banks, if we own the money, right, how it's made, if we own the businesses, if we own how these things are created, how they're structured, we're already written into everything at that point. Because that's the issue that we have currently. We did have some instances where we did that and we lost pretty much all of that, right? But if we were able to make it something that, where we can actually, we're already a part of it, we're not trying to join into it, we're building it, right?
Okay.
And
so
we
here's
own
the
it.
reality.
I think that'll be different.
I love the idea of it. I mean, I would love the money too. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't love the money. I would love the money. The challenge I think we're going to constantly run into, and this is the bigger part of this, is that we don't have our own stuff. But even now that we're making traction and having our own stuff, you can do all of those things. And if the mindset of all the people that you're working with does not shift and change, if they're not educated, educate to understand and know how to take what you've invested in them and turn that into something else that turns into something else, and it becomes generational wealth. It doesn't matter if y'all have $1 trillion in a decade or not. It can get destroyed just like Black Wall Street did, just like
the Freedmen's Bureau.
Yeah.
But everyone can't go to the
Black
top
Wall
with
Street
that stuff.
was destroyed not because of us.
No, I understand that. But just all those places where we have had things that got destroyed or dismantled, whether it was by racism or otherwise, even if it's the unraveling from a corporate perspective, people buying up businesses and then breaking them apart, right?
We see
That happens all the time. If we don't, like, all the stuff that we would do in a decade, if that is not the people behind you guys after you're gone, don't have an understanding of how to hold on to it, it won't matter that we had $1 trillion to invest over it.
Well, that's why I said I would start with the laws, and I would change the folks that get into the laws. And then also education is a big component too, right? I think if we were participating in our government on the level of some other countries, and if our citizens were educated to the point where they were more aware of what's going on locally, things would happen differently anyway. But most folks are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have time to think about, okay, what's going on with this traffic light? What law is about to pass? Which sheriff is in office right now? They don't have time for that. They're literally trying to go to work. And that's all the money they have. And in between them going to work, they get shot by some crazy white lady because she's
entitled
and
feels so emboldened by her own fears.
Literally at work, working, gets home, she stole what? I go over there, bam, dead. Why am I dead? She's crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And they didn't even want to arrest her.
Well, I want to
should have been immediate.
I want to be here. I have grandbabies, and I want to see, like you said, I want to see them have kids. I want to be here. So money. Now I would love that $1 trillion.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna even lie.
I listen, I got a plan already.
That's what I'm saying.
Written down. What I would do with that kind of money.
But when I look, at that and not seeing the kids have kids, that kind of like fucked me up. So like, God damn, I'm gonna be broke.
And I want to add one other thing since we talked about money. And I think we should have more conversation about money.
Agreed.
Because living paycheck to paycheck, people assume that that's impoverished people. Okay, so When I think about that, impoverished people, I'm thinking about people that live on less than, in the United States, live on less than $20,000 a year.
Mhm.
There are
Mhm.
people who make $250,000, $300,000, $400,000. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So
Agreed.
paycheck to
Mhm.
paycheck as a philosophy, as a means of how we exist in the economy, doesn't just affect the people that only make $10 an hour.
Mhm.
There's a whole bunch of people
You
that
can't
live
miss a
that way.
paycheck. Or
And
you
and
fucked
if
up.
you miss a paycheck,
You
you
fucked
have
up.
an emergency. Most people, if they had $1,000, they could save themselves. Most people don't have that.
Agreed.
I mean, it goes back. I mean, there's a couple of things there, but between inflation and the way that the money's being devalued,
Mhm.
it's that's going to be a constant. I mean, I looked at an ad, I think I sent it to you the other day. Get a brand new house for $15,000.
Mhm. One of those trailer houses.
Whole house.
Yeah.
Actual house.
Yeah.
Full house, 3-bedroom house, 15,000. This is back in the
2007 when the thing dropped.
40s, 40s
Oh,
and
okay.
50s.
You
Okay.
got that
okay.
in
Even I was
2007.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
But what I'm saying is here we are now. You would think that our money would be worth more, right? It would be more valuable. We do more as a country, right? Why is our money worth less? You can buy brand new cars back then, $4,000. Brand new car.
Right.
You come forward to today, the cars here are made mostly plastic. Those
Mhm.
cars were still like
Right.
ounce per ounce. The car is more valuable back then. Like it's
Absolutely.
made of more car,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
These cars are made of more plastic, so it's actually cheaper. They make these cars way cheaper than they did back then. They're not; those were handmade mostly. These are automated, so
Machine-made, yeah.
these cars should be a lot cheaper than they are. Like
Agreed.
our money should go a lot further than it does,
Agreed.
but it doesn't, and that is by design.
I agree.
Agreed.
So yes, I would definitely change a whole lot of that. You'd be like, oh, I have $1,000 per month. That's all I make per month, but it goes really far. How much is your rent? 100. How did that happen? Yeah, we changed some things. We didn't let them just change the rent whenever. We didn't let them just devalue the money to the point where you can't afford it. We didn't let the banks just destroy the economy and just take everyone's wealth, essentially. Yeah, a whole lot of things would change.
Mhm.
Get a couple of clones out there of myself, and then we just continue this.
Oh, Lord.
Get you some statues.
I got-
so
I got-
you'll live
You found a
forever.
clause in that.
I got exactly. Hey, I got trillions and trillions of dollars.
There
We're
you
gonna
go.
figure out something.
Whole other
Continue.
thing happening.
We're gonna figure out something. You
Listen,
like-
y'all get the money, and I love to see it.
There you go.
We gotta get the money first.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's move on because we're getting close to where we pass our time. But let's go ahead and start winding this thing down. So get ready for our Black History recognizing.
Come on.
Did you say so? You put them damn buttons.
Woman, if you don't go.
Okay. Every week we recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions African Americans have made to this country. It's Black Music Month and it's also Pride Month. So today we're going to talk about Miss Bessie Smith. So Bessie Smith was a blues singer widely renowned during the Jazz Age. Nicknamed as the Empress of Blues, she was most popular female blues singer in the 1930s and became the highest paid Black entertainer of her day. She even began traveling in her own 72-foot long railroad car. Bessie was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989. She is often regarded as one of the greatest singers of her era and was a major influence on fellow blues singers as well as jazz vocalists. I don't know if you guys remember, but Queen Latifah portrayed her in the 2015 HBO movie film Bessie, focusing on a struggle and transition of Smith's life and sexuality. So today, Miss Bessie Smith, we salute you and your contributions to making this country great. All right, y'all. Before we close, we need to pay some bills. Here's a word from our sponsor. Oh.
You're moving too fast, lady.
Coming soon.
Terradome Entertainment. We turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities. If your dream is to become a photographer, we have a nice intimate photo studio just for you. If you want to record that next hit song or do voiceover work, we have a state-of-the-art studio also for you. If you want to professionally record your own podcast, well, we have that too. Check us out at www.terradoneentertainment.com. We are the only ones to turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities. All right. Shout out to dude over there, producer extraordinaire, for some of those beats. And that is our show. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at info@terradomeent.com. That's info@terradomeent.com. Final words, and we'll start with the ladies. Miss Forrest.
Thank you for having me, not only in Pride Month, but also Black History Music Month, and just working with you as well, Teresa. You're just a joy. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I love being able to just talk through this stuff. I feel like we've lost some of the essence of just having really good conversations. So thank you for inviting me to the table, and I look forward to coming back.
Anytime. Mr. JNauti.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I would just say that make sure you check out XXL on all streaming platforms.
There you go.
It's out there. You'll enjoy it. It's made for the summer. I mean, there's no videos of me dancing naked or anything like that, but it's still a good time. Still a good time. Check it out.
All right, DJ Talented.
Last thoughts on this situation was again, enjoy life as always. If you think you need to be packing, you pack, but also pack properly. Do what you need to do properly. I think it is cool for you to teach your kids to properly use a gun and when to use a gun. Don't use it just because you're mad at somebody. Use it when you need to. My thoughts.
All right. So let's get on to that real ass quote of the day. You don't have to change who you are, but strive to become who you want to be. All right. You know what? I had it. Here we go. Thank you. Give me that good time. So join us live every Saturday at noon for the Power Hour with the Real S People Society crew here on Terradome Entertainment Radio, and catch the replay of this show and other shows on terradomeentradio.com or on all your major podcast apps. You can hit us up on IG at Power Hour _raps_crew. I am the president, Ms. Entertainment. You can contact me at MIZZ_entertainment_ATL or Power Hour _raps_crew. And I'm gonna go around the table. Chief Entertainment Officer, how can we get you?
DJ Talented _1 on Instagram.
All right, Miss Forrest.
You can find me favoritelibrarian.com. My podcast is available to stream anywhere podcasts are available. And you can check me out on my Instagram, Favorite Librarian.
All right, Mr. Shell.
And I am Madam 3D on Instagram.
The real JNauti.
That's how you find me, the real JNauti, everywhere, always, 100% of the time. XXL, go get it right
And
now.
what was the first project?
One of one.
All right, and we can find that where?
Same place you found all other projects. Online, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to music. Just use your phone. Go online. Just all you gotta do is type it in. Just type it in. It's real easy.
That's right. And what's next weekend? Well, we're gonna come bring you back so we can listen to that XXL.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. As always, I'll leave you all with this. Be kind to each other, love one another, and keep God first. Thank you for joining. Stay safe, and we're out.
That was fun.
Nice to meet you, love. Of course.
Come visit up this way.
Yeah, she surprised. She's like, who's that coming through the door?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I know I heard that door.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you she was coming.
No, you told me. I thought she was coming with you.
Yeah. Timing. Did you avoid that thing?
As always, I'll leave you all with